Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial. Today's tutorial we are going to work on how to configure the single cluster name node and data node for the Hadoop in Ubuntu. So the first thing that we need to see is where the configuration files are located. So let's go over here and look at ls, and then you can see that there is a directory Hadoop. So now let's move on to the Hadoop directory, cd Hadoop, and then it's under cd etc, and then it's under again Hadoop directory. Now if I make an ls command, and we can find that these are the files, some of the files that we need to configure, or we need to update in order to um, do the Hadoop installation in full. So the first thing that we are going to do is let's look at the Hadoop environment.sh file. So let's go over there, and the command to do that is nano. So let me clear it first. Okay, and then nano hadoop-env.sh. Okay, so that's the first file that we are going to configure, and let's go at the very bottom. Go, yeah, it's really at the bottom, and then over there we can see that we have exported the path for Java. So we have defined Java home as where the Java is installed, and the Java is installed over here in user lib jvm, okay, in this directory. And then to close this, what we do is just Control X, okay. Then the next thing that we are going to do is update the Coresight.xml. So let's look at over here ls, and then we can see that this is the file that we need to update. So let's do that. Nano core-site.xml. Okay, and this is the file that I already have configured. So you can see that when Hadoop was first installed, this configuration was blank. So this is the configuration stuff that we need to put in if we'd like to have Hadoop installed. Okay. So what this Coresight.xml is, it is one of the important configuration files which is required to runtime environment settings of Hadoop cluster, and it informs Hadoop daemons where the name node runs in the cluster. It also informs the name node as to which IP and ports it should be bind. Okay, so once we have done this, we can exit. But before that, you can see that I have created another folder, Hdata, and then this Hdata we can give some read and write permission. Okay, so once that is done, we can exit it. Before exiting, we can, if we'd like to make a change on this file, the command for this is Control O, okay, and then when you put the Control O, the change is okay, hit enter, and then Control X will exit from that file. The next thing that we are going to do is change another file, and that is the hdfs-site.xml file. Okay, so how do we go there? And let's go to that file, nano site.xml, and we can see that over here this is the configuration that I have put in. So this hdfs-site.xml contains configuration settings of HDFS daemons. That means the name node, data node, or secondary data node, and it is used to specify default block replication, and the actual number of replication can also be specified when the file is created. So right now we have defined the replication factor to be 1. Okay, so now let's exit this. The next file that we are going to update is the maprate-site.xml. So let's go there, nano maprate-site.xml. Okay, and this is the file, and we can see that there are some configurations over here. Okay, so this configuration file sets runtime environment settings of Hadoop. Okay, and it contains the configuration setting for map radios, such as the size of the mapper and reducer process, and number of JVM that can run in parallel. Okay, so this is also a very important configuration file for the Hadoop. Okay, so again, if we would like to change, we can change as Control O, and then hit enter, and then Control X. And remember that these are the just the very basic configuration that we need to put in, and all of these configurations, when we just install Hadoop, these are blank. We have to just put this configuration. Okay, so then the next thing that we need to change is the yarn-side.xml. Okay, so let's go and look into that. Side.xml, and we can see over here that this is the site. So what this one is doing, it represents the custom configuration of resource manager and node manager. Okay, so once that is done, let's close this. Okay, so basically we can see that these are the files that we need to configure, and then we need to move on to changing some of the other environmental variables, and for that we need to go back to one step and then go back another step. Okay, and in Hadoop we have to change what? We have to change the nano so let's go over here and then okay, over here we need to update this file with some of the variables, environment variables. So you can see that we have defined export Hadoop home, and the Hadoop home is home /8 Hadoop. Okay, and then export path, we are defining the export path for the bean and sbean directory, and then export mapred home, and then common home, and then Hadoop Hdfs. Okay, so once those things are done, then the next phase is that let's close it, and then we have to format the name node. And how do we do this? So let's go to Hadoop, and then we type bin/hdfs and name node dash format. Okay, so it is now going to format the name node, and this is taking like a few seconds. And we have to just say yes, and it's done. So okay, so it's done. Now the next thing that we need to run the Hdfs. So let me clear. And then for running this, what we have to do is invoking the sbin .dfs.sh. So, and then it's going to run. Let's wait a few seconds. And you can see that starting the name nodes are done. Now we can see that what are the processes that are running. So the JPS is the command. I would like to see that on the browser. So let's open up the browser. And then if we just type localhost 9870 and hit enter, and then we can see that the Hadoop is running.